Hello YouTube, Damo_23 here, and welcome back to another episode of Glory Hunter. In today's episode, we have the draw for the round of 16, and depending on the draw, it depends if you're going to get both legs of this tie, or this leg, and the Cabarro Cup final. Yes, that is correct. We have made the Cabarro Cup final. We do have Manchester United, and yes, I do plan to give it to you as a game here on the YouTube episode. However, it is very dependent on who we get. I'm going to start the episode by saying thank you very much for the likes on the videos at the minute and the subscriptions to the YouTube channel. A lot of you guys aren't subscribed, so if you could help out the channel by pressing the subscribe button, it's free to do so, please do it. And leave a comment as well about how your saves are going, or any questions about the save, or anything you want me to tackle in the future. I know on my Discord there's a lot of anticipation for me to end up back in France, because it's always interesting to see us try and topple, of course, PSG. With that being said, though, I'm going to start the episode with the round of 16 draw. Main reason is we get to know exactly who we're playing, and they're definitely going to give you that first leg away from home, because, to be fair, I think we're going to be quite good in the second leg at home against most sides. Our team, our fans have voted that they want us to get Arsenal. Theoretically and physically impossible, because we're all seeded as first seeds. As you can have a look, these are the teams that made it through the 8. It's Cologne, Montpellier, Rangers, Hertha Berlin, Dortmund, Newcastle, Arsenal, and Napoli. A lot of the bigger sides that we are missing out. In terms of sides that are unseeded, Galatasaray, Real Hippas, Besiktas, VTSC from Portugal, FC Utrecht, Villarreal, Atlanta, and Hibs. Now, we've played Atlanta and drew in Italy already. Hopefully it's not Atlanta. I want to play Hippas, but I'd rather play them in a later round. But if it's Hippas, it's okay. I think everyone there by Villarreal, Hippas, and Atlanta is dead set certs that will go through. I think if we got any of the teams, we're probably favourites. But without further ado, let's get into the draw here at 3x speed. And hopefully we're going to be okay. First team out the hat is Galatasaray. More than happy if we come out right now here in Newcastle. We are the favourites for the competition. It's not Cologne. Next out the hat is going to be, as Riquelme is our ceremony host, Hippas. I actually would love it for the story that we get to play Hippas again in the save. That would be fantastic. It's Montpellier. We don't get that story, but Hippas, big opportunity for them to go through. Fingers crossed for the boys. I would also love to go back there. Besiktas would love this as a tie. This would be sensational for us. Can it be Newcastle? Will it be Newcastle? It's not. It's Rangers. Leaves Utrecht, Villarreal, Hibs, and VTSC. Next out the hit is VTSC from Portugal. Happily we'll take them as well here. Will we get them though? That is the question here. No, Hertha Berlin. Next out the hat. I would love to avoid Atlanta, of all things. FC Utrecht. And is it going to be Newcastle? This would be one of the good ties. It's not, it's Dortmund. Well, we've got a 1 in 3 that is Hibs, or else we're getting one of the big nation leagues. Villarreal. I'd rather Villarreal than Atlanta, to be fair. Atlanta would be the worst tie. Who is it going to be? Newcastle. So we're off to Spain to play Villarreal. There you go. Let's see how they're lining up here as well. Off to Spain to play Villarreal. They're currently sitting 12th in La Liga. As you can see here on 29 points. Not having the greatest time of it. But they've got a good amount of players. Like, if you have a look at them there, you've got Sanchez in there, 31. He's a fantastic keeper. They still have Christopher Adger, who's not in there. Asta's in there, who's a fantastic midfielder. Means they would have signed him from Hippas because we brought him in on this save. We did. They picked him up for 21.5 mil. Fantastic midfielder. Alex Benner's still there as well. Christopher Adger is injured but coming back from injury. He's a fantastic centre-back. How do they go this year in the group stage? They beat Nords during away from home and winning at home. They didn't make it through the league phase, but where did they finish in the league phase? 9th. So we got theoretically the hardest tie that we possibly could, but I still think we're favourites to win that. Not easy at all. We would have to pump them pretty significantly for me to give you Newcastle first leg, then the Cabarro Cup final. But we'll see how we go there. How do they make the Europa League? Let's see how they went last year. They finished 7th, which would have been a Europa League spot in France, I would imagine, unless they won the Cup. They did actually win the Cup in penalty shootout. That's how they made it. Okay, so a good Cup side. Having an air year in Spain, but we're really, really lucky not to finish inside the 8. A difficult draw, to be quite honest. However, it's a draw that I still think we should win. If we're the odds-on favourites for the competition, this should be a game that we blitz. And to be quite honest, as long as it's an easy tie, as long as it's an even tie in Spain, I would back us to pump them in England. So let's see what happens here in this first leg, and it'll be determined if we're going to give you the second leg or, of course, the Cabarrot Cup final. 3, 2, 1, and let's go. YouTube, 3 days before the Villarreal first leg, and we're in a penalty shootout against Chelsea to see if we can retain the FA Cup title. We are 6th round. Obviously, Chelsea's quite a monster draw. There's 3 teams fighting for the title. It's ourselves, Chelsea and United at the minute. So I was expecting a very, very interesting game. We just played 120 minutes, semi-rotated, with a lot of first-team players coming on to try and win the tie. But yeah, so here we are. So let's pick our penalty takers, which is Bellingham, Merlin, Brown, Isaac, Osimhen. And I prefer Osimhen at 4. I just feel like penalty 4 is the penalty that most likely can win you the game, put you in position to win the game, or cost you the game a lot of the time. And obviously we trust a lot in Jude Bellingham. Merlin we brought off the bench to take a penalty, and Lewis Brown is world class. So let's go with them, and hopefully Kaka can do a job. This is your chance to be heroes. We are at home in the Toon, and we are shooting first here at St James's Park. Hopefully, this is a little bit of extra excitement, but a win, as Bellingham has his penalty saved by Meslier, and it was a very poor penalty by the world-class centre attacking midfielder, or central midfielder. Havertz now hits, and that's a penalty and a half, something Bellingham should have done. Just put the ball down and pick your spot. Great penalty there. Meslier again. Great keeper. Get rid of his name being highlighted, please, can we? Thank you. Merlin. That's a decent penalty, maybe with a better dive. Meslier saves. And Kovacic with Chelsea's second penalty to send them 2-1 up after 2 each. Katka needs to make a save. Kovacic steps up, and that's a great penalty, even with the full length dive of Katka. Can't get next to that. 2-1 after 2 each. Lewis Brown now, world class, great composure, steps up, and sends the keeper the wrong way with an emphatic penalty with a lot of power. And Josko Gravadol, who is a pretty good penalty taker himself, versus Katka. Gravadol, yeah, good penalty to be fair. Gave the keeper the eyes. And Osimhen now, at 3-2 down, must score. And Victor, wasn't the greatest penalty. Meslier read it, got a hand to it, should have been saved. Now, Datro Fofana versus Katka. This is the one where Katka needs to make a save here. And, that's a penalty and a half. It goes the right way again, but that's side netting. And after 4 penalties each, it is free for Chelsea. And, his name is going to be... Who did I put there? It has to be Isaac. Has to be. There we go. It is Isaac to keep us in the FA Cup and force Kaká to try and make a save. Isaac steps up. Meslier saves. We've missed 2 penalties out of our 5. Chelsea have gone perfect with their 4. And, not the greatest way to start the episode. We're out of the FA Cup. That's probably a good thing if we go deeper into the champions, into the Europa League, though. Lucky boys, it would have been nice to win. The board might get upset at that. I don't particularly care too much. But yeah, look, it is what it is. They're going to be pretty disappointed. But yeah, however, they can understand how to difficult draw. Apparently, we weren't competitive in the Community Shield. But don't think we got pumped by Liverpool, did we? In the Community Shield? What did we lose in the Community Shield? We lost 2-1 and they told us we weren't competitive. Okay, interesting. Anyhow, we have got Villarreal in 5 days' time. I'll see you guys in a second for that first leg. 5 days later, Villarreal, Spain. Willy Sagna was in charge. I love it. I think that's a pretty good signing for them because he's quite the manager on FM. And to be fair to Villarreal, look, since we last had a look, in the last couple of games, they lost to Barcelona due to Sevilla. It's not setting the world alight. They have been a little bit hit and miss. Something tells me that this is the leg that will decide this tie. So let's go and see what we can do. In terms of the board, they're still happy with me, and even though we failed in a couple of areas, they're not particularly caring. In terms of the team, we are going full strength. It is Kaká, Saelmakers, Morgala, Lacroix, and I have preferred Merlin over Sergio this year. Civet, Bellingham, and Tisney with Isaac Brown and Osimhen back from injury. It is going to be fantastic. Please note, my gamble on Roman Gabbert on paper has paid off swimmingly. 9 goals in 19. He's got 21 in 30 matches. So, look, that's pretty good return. And then the game record, he's never going to grow. So, one of those ones that you just look at Football Manager and go, that makes no sense. Anyhow, without further ado, let's go into this one. We've seen what this Villarreal squad does look like. I wonder if Adra is back for this one here. he's got the captain's armband, so he definitely is. Let's go and break down exactly how this starting 11 does look here. Sanchez, fantastic keeper. Zanotti, pretty decently well-rounded, but we can get at him for sure. Adja's not 100% back, but he is their best player. Nicholas is a 21-year-old that's been capped by Argentina. Not particularly the greatest in the air, and Osimhen's a pretty good aerial threat, so that's pretty good to have. Alfonso Pedraza, yet again, also very well-rounded, but that's about it. Diakavi still physically capable. Jose's not bad. Asta's pretty good. Roman Fairvey, well-rounded. Nino, pretty decent. It's one of those sides you look at and you go, it's a well-rounded side that know how to play football, but it's whatever. They've got Billy on the bench, who's a former Liverpool prospect. Alex Banner as well. I think we should be winning this tie, and I think we should be winning this leg comfortably. But without further ado, let's get into it. I wonder why that was already up. Maybe we've clicked on there. Yep, we'll get rid of that. Thank you. We have a highlight. Minute 1. It is obviously us in the black and the white. They're in the yellow. And here we go up against Villarreal. And, well, highlight from kickoff. Morgala wins the header. Bellingham, who missed the penalty, finds Kaká, finds Larox. And he finds Merlin, who is a very good corner taker and has been doing very well this year from dead balls and in build-up as well. Civet, Isaac, Bellingham, Tisney, Osimhen, Brown, big moment, first chance inside a minute in the round of 16, and Lewis Brown, Mr. World Class, is doing a bit of a jig in the corner flag, and well, we lead 1-0 inside a minute. Now that we're out of the FA Cup, hopefully a little bit more desperation for us to win the Europa League, to say that we won a trophy this year, because the Premier League is probably going to come down to the last day or so as well. And if it does get down to that, you will definitely see it as an episode, even though it's not particularly required a part of Glory Hunter anymore. Same way, I plan on giving you the Cabaret Cup, especially if this game is an absolute pumping. Pedraza, Asta, and switched out the other side, only as far as Isaac heads back to Merlin, and we can go on the break here, 15 minutes played. Merlin on a run. Isaac's ahead of him. Tisney makes a great run into the space. Osimhen looked offside, but Adja comes across, and that's going to be a penalty every day. Osimhen with a chance from the spot. Was lucky to score in the shootout, just gone, but he did score. Osimhen for 2-0 in a 16-minute 2-0 lead. And, well, that's into the bottom in. That's a great penalty. It's 2-0. Maybe their keeper, Sanchez, saw the penalty that he hit in the FA Cup penalty shootout and stayed a bit more central than going full-blooded to his left. But Osimhen there with a great finish. And, well, we're 2-0 up. 4 shots, 4 on target. 2 goals, I'll take it. Would love a third, and that is for sure. Sanchez now goes short to Pedraza. We look to squeeze. Good ball inside to Asta. They've actually got numbers out over here. And Zanotti gets forward. Now we need to win the ball here. Isaac tracking, doesn't win. And Giovanni heads over the bar. Could have been a big moment there for Cabral, but no joy. Anyway, Firmino heads, Saelmakers, Civet, Merlin, drives. And that's a good ball out to Saelmakers, who can fill his boots here. Fill your boots. And off you go. Brown made a good run, ignored, surprisingly. Tisney dropping in. Osimhen's there. Osimhen hits. What a strike. What a goal. Arrowed into the top bin. Great movement from Tisney, which is why he's our best player on paper at the football club. And I will miss him when we leave Newcastle. And look, Saelmakers inside. Bellingham. Tisney gets into the air, gets into the right area between the lines. And, well, Victor Osimhen picked that out. Looked up, realised he couldn't get one-on-one. I'm just going to leather it, mate. And, well, he leathered it, all right. 3-0 up, 35 minutes played. We're really sending a message out to the competition here at the minute. As that's a ball in. Isaac looked offside. Apparently not offside. It's 4-0. 2 goals in a couple of minutes. As it stands at the minute, we're going to all see the Cabaret Cup final as the second part of this episode, because we are flying here. Great ball in from Brown. Still reckon Isaac could be off, because I reckon he's ahead of Brown and he's ahead of the defenders. We will get to see the lines. Very, very tight, but 4-0. Time ticks away. Very great performance, and look, superb. And this is what we set out to achieve here. They finished 9th. They were 1 spot outside of being a seeded side for this round. So on paper, the hardest draw we could have got, And this is what, maybe not in terms of team draw, but in terms of where they finished. And look what we're doing to them. Saying that, though, it would be nice not to concede right now, right before half time, and Isaac wins that back. I tell you what, Tisney, yet again, his positioning is so good to pick up the ball. And he keeps it superbly well and finds LaRox and Tisney and Bellingham and Osimhen, and Brown made the run, and he got Sailmakers in support, and Brown plays the 1-2, numbers in the box, Brown, Osimhen, thank you for 5. Did you think that was going to go any other way? I didn't. 5-0 up inside 45 minutes. And well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this has been utter domination. Domination. We are, highlight again, don't concede. But it's been absolute domination. We've put them to the sword. Mate, 6-0. They don't know what's hidden. We've won the ball back. Merlin's on the overlap. There's still time for another one. Osimhen makes a run. What a ball. Should be 6. Is 6. This tie's over. It's 6-0 in 45 minutes. And, yeah, we're pretty well classed. And with that being said, I'm going to end this part of the episode here because we may as well save it for the Carabao Cup final. What an episode. We've lost in a penalty shootout versus Chelsea. We've gone and slapped Villarreal 6-0 in 45 minutes of football. We'll just make sure there's no highlight here from kickoff, whereas there isn't. And, yeah, let's go see what we can do against Man United. And I'll obviously recap the end of this result and what the second leg looks like. If somehow we capitulate and it comes to 6-3, I'll let you guys know as well. Carabao Cup final, Wembley. And well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, before I get underway in my World Cup qualification campaign, our last game before the international break is, of course, us against United in the Carabao Cup final. Since we last met, we obviously played the second leg. I fully rotated, actually threw away a 2-0 lead with a fully rotated side, bar Bellingham because of injuries. But look, we dominated. Probably should have been 3, 4, 5 goals up before conceding the 2. Little bit FM'd, but it doesn't matter. 8-2 on aggregate is fantastic because this first leg did finish, of course, 6-0. There was not another goal in the second leg. I kind of took the pace off the game to rest up some players. With that being said, the next round draw isn't going to be in this episode. It will be next episode. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we do get a good draw and see what we can do. With that being said as well, I've called up my French squad. We've had injuries to Mbappe, injuries to Dembele, injuries to a couple of other big names. I wanted to introduce to you a guy called Ryan Soler. Didn't know this guy was at Brighton in the Prem, but apparently he is. Acceleration, dribbling, finishing, off the ball, a lot of 14s, can pass, got good technique. And with Mbappe being injured and this guy's scoring 12 and 29 for Brighton, there's your potential number 9 for the World Cup. Before I put him in the episode as well, shout out to him. He is nervous that he's in his first squad, I would believe. Surprised and nervous. I wouldn't be surprised with the full, mate. But there we go. In terms of the team, full strength, of course we are. Everybody fit and ready bar Sivert because he's been missing out during suspension. But outside of that, look how many 4-star, 5-star players there are in this list. And well, it's Katker, Salmakers, Bogala, LaRox, and Merlin, Sivert, Tisney, and Bellingham, Brown, Isaac, and Osimhen. In an episode that's a FA Cup penalty shootout loss, a 6-0 first half drubbing in the Europa League to cruise past the knockouts round against Villarreal. We now, of course, have Wembley against Man United, who have Unai Simon in net. Parisi is, of course, there. Rashford is playing, of course, as well, and they're in the red, and we are in the Newcastle black and white. Bellingham heads away, but only as far as Kamara finds Rashford, he volleys, falls to Marcus Leandro, cleared away by Remy LaRox, and Isaac finds Merlin, and they will play. With that being said, it's Isaac on the ball. Finds Victor Osimhen, Sivert, Tisney, great ball to Brown, Victor Osimhen. Isaac was there, unfortunately didn't find him. Unai Simon will go long. Marcus Leandro is there, but LaRox wins. Tisney now. And Tisney, Merlin. Isaac made a great run, finds him. Osimhen working front stick. Ball in. Bellingham. Unai Simon, what a save onto the post. A great save from the United keeper to deny Jude Bellingham a flying volley. And Sancho down the other end. And this game, 5 minutes in, has a very good cut and thrust to it already. Is that the highlight now, Football Manager? It is. And yeah, they've got Marmo, who we sold from Timber, Vargas, Perezi, Kamara, Oliver Skip, Sancho, Vieira, Rashford, and Leandro. A very similar side that we've seen in the save from Man United in the past few seasons. Fabio Vieira, 21st minute here at Wembley with a ball back stick. It's in a handball by Mark Mimeral. And I don't know how that was a highlight, but apparently it was. Unai Simon, Marmo, who avoided a booking with that deliberate handball as well. Mugala hits, Bellingham. Mugala finds the rocks, and good build-up play here. Great side-to-side movement. This team is utterly fantastic at that. Tisney, what a ball into the channel. Well cut off by Vargas though. Osimhen was lurking. Brown wins it back and picks off Rashford's foot. Isaac's there, first time, and Unai Simon with a trailing hand. What a save again for the United keeper. He's made 2 massive saves to keep it at 0-0. And if it wasn't for Unai Simon, we would already be 2-0 up. And at the moment, we're having the better of the first half here at Wembley. But that doesn't mean too much. If you do remember, last year, semi-final, it took extra time and a corner from Morgala to head home to beat United at Wembley. Marble now with a ball through the middle. Sivit's picked it off. Our press has been delightful. Brown has got beyond and does get found in the box. Poor wins it back though. No, it's a mistake. It's Osimhen. It's a goal. It's 1-0. I think that's one of those ones where the match engine says this is meant to be a highlight. Or the match engine this is meant to be a highlight of a goal, and the graphics engine didn't know what to do. I think how the game was trying to compute was a ball to Bellingham for Brown to cut to Osimhen. As you can see, Parisi wins, forgets, and then, well, that. We'll take it, because that's the goal you're never going to probably score in a cup final at Wembley. But a centre-back or a full-back passing it into the 6-yard box for your striker, it's 1-0. Sivit, Merlin, ball over the top to Brown, volley straight up Unai Simon. Might have been offside, is offside, wouldn't have counted anyway. But on the basis of this first 45 minutes, we've been utterly dominant. And, well, right on half-time, Brown, set piece, whippage, and Unai Simon, what a save again. Lovely little bit of whippage on it. And unfortunately for us, been well kept out. Unai Simon is having a fantastic game in the Man United net for the world-class Spanish keeper. Tisney finds Merlin, should be the highlight here shortly. Sivit, and then that's the highlight there, and that's half-time. We lead 1-0, absolutely obliterated Manchester United. 7 shots, 6 plays, 2 shots, 1, 89% pass completion, 57% possession. A very, very, very dominant first half display here at Wembley. And, well, we're 45 minutes away from winning our first and probably only Cabaret Cup competition of the save. Tisney, flicked on header, top of the bar, and a whisker away from 2-0. Saelmakers now finds Brown, Morgala, the Rocks, Morgala, Saelmakers, Brown, inside, drives, great stuff, Sivit, ball to Merlin's fantastic, he can cut one if he wants to, gets to the byline, ball in there, Bellingham, volleys, he's hit the bar. Oh, that close to a 2-0 lead. Bellingham now has had a shot, or Tisney over the bar. Bellingham's now had a wonderful save from Unai Simon and a ball into the bar for his 2 volleys from outside or around the edge of the area. With us dominating so well, I'm not going to make my traditional 60 to 65th minute changes here. I'm actually going to let this one tick away for a slight little bit longer. Isaac and Brown are looking a little bit legless. They've failed to make an impact. I am going to go out here with it is going to be a Smith-Rowe-Sane combination. Could bring Roman in with the speed, but we're going to leave that. And we are going to bring Ugrate in for Sivit as well, just in case we need to make that defensive foul. 3 changes made, 10 minutes away. Highlight for Man United, it would be pretty cruel to concede here. Long throw, cleared. Sane needs to win, doesn't. Manio, Parisi, well done. Oh no, not well done, Sane. It's over the bar. Looked like Sane won it and then left it. 1-0, we've utterly dominated. They've had absolutely nothing, Manchester United, and there's not much time left on the clock. And with that being said, I am going to bring Tisney off for Iramoto, and it is going to be as a Mazzara on support to help Bellingham in the middle of that part for the last few minutes. Time ticks away, and well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, in a game which has only finished 1-0, but realistically could have been 4 or 5 if it wasn't for the Manchester United goalkeeper and the woodwork, we have obliterated Manchester United at Wembley in a very, very dominant display, just without it reflecting on the scoreline. And well, if that isn't a warning shot to everybody left in the Europa League, that we beat a side 6-0 in 45 minutes in the first leg and have absolutely dominated Manchester United, then they're never going to get a warning sign from us until we win the competition. We have put Europe on notice that this Europa League title this year is Newcastle's unless we throw it away. And well, at the end of the game here at Wembley, Newcastle won, Manchester United 0. We are Carabao Cup winners, and in Season 7, we've got some glory, but it isn't part of the save. Hopefully next time we're on this spreadsheet and typing in a year, typing in what we've achieved, it is to say we are Europa League winners. Till next time, until the draw, and of course the next round of the Europa League. I'll see you then. Thank you very much. Give the episode a like, and goodbye.